Hello, my name is Charles Baer, and today is April 17, 2014, and I'm in Bend, Oregon. And today I want to talk about gig. And gig is my website, which is globalinternetgovernment.com. And what gig is going to do is it's going to monitor every financial transaction by every government on the planet Earth. And this is transparency and accountability and freedom of speech. And this is the future of the world media. And gig is going to do this because a lot of the information is out there and will accept input from all sources, anonymous and otherwise. And, a lot of it will be guesswork or media speculation. So that's what gig is. And yeah. Now, the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, has been doing this for a long time. And so gig supports the IMF and is going to augment the IMF. And gig is going to allow everybody to participate in and contribute to what the IMF has been doing and is going to continue to do. Because everybody on the planet has the right to know and comment on how their government is spending their tax dollars. And so that's global internet government. It's a media outlet and a social network that allows all people to know how their government and all other governments are spending their money. And this is the future of the world media, provided that freedom of speech exists in the future, which I'm assuming it does. So that's gig, or at least that's half of gig. Half of gig is providing to the public information about what the IMF is doing, the International Monetary Fund. The other half of gig is providing the public with information on what the United Nations is doing. Now, the IMF is assisting the world economies and world governments with their economic situation. That's what the IMF is doing. So the IMF is helping save the planet that way. What the UN is doing is promoting freedom of speech and freedom for women, promoting women's reproductive rights. So this is the other half of gig. Gig is also going to monitor, not just like the IMF, how governments spend money, but also how governments react to the question of women's reproductive rights. So the gig believes that in this millennium, the third millennium AD, that all females on the planet have the right to freedom. And what that means is that they have the right to decide whether or not they want to reproduce. And that's called female reproductive rights. So gig will monitor all governments on how they respond to this issue. And there's three different areas on this issue. One is social, another is financial, and another is legal. So there's three different areas. Are female reproductive rights legal? And then there's different levels of legality. Are female reproductive rights financially, is birth control available? Who pays for it? Well, Gig feels the government should pay for it, all of it. And then the other is, so that's the legal one. And then the other one is cultural, which is, I guess, education and stuff like that. So that's how Gig will monitor the three different levels of this issue for all governments. Gig feels this is very important because Gig would Gig would like to save the planet, and Gig feels that the only way to save the planet is by creating a significant and sustained decline in the human population. Gig feels that the human population is going up, which is the wrong direction. It should be going down. And Gig feels that right now we're at an unsustainable level of people on the planet, and that's going to destroy the environment. And so Gig feels the way to save the environment is to decrease the human population to a sustainable level, which Gig feels is around 2 or 3 billion people. So Gig would like to accomplish this task through peaceful education and birth control and, legal, peaceful means. Education, stuff like that. Democracy, freedom of speech, women's reproductive rights. So that's the other half of Gig, the UN part. So that's Gig, globalinternetgovernment.com. Check it out. I created Gig in Portland, Oregon in the year 2000 when I was trying to create a website that combined what the IMF was doing with what the UN was doing, which is saving the planet. These are two great American institutions that have been around for a long time, and Gig simply provides everybody on the planet an opportunity to engage with the IMF and engage with the UN and understand what they're doing currently and participate and contribute to it. So that's Gig. Right on. Now, Gig has a President of Earth election every year on December 1st. And anybody can vote for anybody, and whoever gets the most votes wins. And you can only vote on December 1st, Hawaiian time. And the way to vote is to go to Gig and go to one of the chat rooms and register and log in and post a topic that says, I vote for blank for President of Earth next year, and that counts as one vote. And you can only vote once. And the President of Earth has no power. The President of Earth is an unpaid employee of Global Internet Government, like an intern. And the President of Earth supports the Gig policy, and the Gig policy is freedom of speech online and women's reproductive rights. And the President of Earth serves one calendar year, January 1st to January 1st. And the President of Earth can only serve 3 terms. And, you can be anybody, any age, any species, or an inanimate object. Anything and anyone or whatever can be elected President of Earth. But if you get elected 3 times, you can't get elected again. And so that's the President of Earth. Now, let's look at Europe, shall we? Europe has unified as a continent economically with the European Union. And that's the blueprint for the rest of the nations on the planet for the future. In other words, in the future, all countries on Earth will unify economically and politically, much as Europe has already done. Europe has shown us the way to do it, and now we need to do it. So Gig would like to unify all of North America, South America, Central America, and the Caribbean into one country. That's right. North Pole to South Pole. Dig it. One currency, one government. This will take a while. But Gig will get it done. And Gig will do it exactly the way Europe unified that continent. Gig would also like to unify Southeast Asia, parts of Africa and the Middle East. You know, stuff like that. So that's something that Gig's going to be working on as well. Now I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Charles Baer. I'm 45. I'm white. I'm straight. I'm Buddhist. Don't have a wife or an ex-wife. Don't have any kids. I'm running for president of the United States of America in 2016 and 2020, and quite likely 2024. As a libertarian, I'm for less government. And vote for me, please. Thank you very much. I was born and raised in Santa Cruz, California. I went to high school in Newport, Rhode Island. I graduated from the University of Hawaii at Hilo on the Big Island in 1994 with a BA in political science, and then I moved to Santa Fe, New Mexico. And in 1999, I moved to Portland, Oregon, and in 2007, I moved to Bend, Oregon. And I'm still here in Bend. However, next month, I might move to Li Shui, China, which is about 200 miles south of Shanghai and about 100 miles inland. Because I'd like to see how the Chinese feel about Gig, since they're the ones who are going to be footing the bill for all this crazy IMF bullshit. They're probably going to want to keep track of their money. But maybe not. We'll see what happens. Maybe they don't care. Maybe it's not a big deal. But we'll see. Anyway, so that's the deal with me. Anyway, thank you very much. Have a great day, and peace in the hood.